Yeah.
But it's Portland's and Greater Portland's doing okay. Um, we recently did a survey, hasn't been released yet, but it's going to be pretty soon, and it shows that like 75% of the office space or employers have their space open for their employees to come in if they want to, and about 50% of employees are actually back at work full time.
Clearly, people are going to have more flexibility with their companies. What does that mean if you don't have to have employees in the office 100% of the time, if they only have to be there maybe 3 days a week or even 2 days a week, what does that mean for what kind of space businesses are going to need?
That's a great question. In the survey that we conducted, most of the employees said they're not going to be reducing the size of their space. And even if you've got, like the bigger companies will probably end up having a hybrid model where employees work from home 2 days a week, but they still need a desk and they still need the same amount of space. So fortunately for the real estate market, I don't see a huge downsizing, which I did expect early on.
We've heard throughout the pandemic about people saying, all right, I want to get out of the cities. I want to get out of Boston and New York and Washington, or I want to get out of crowded suburbs in Connecticut or whatever. And I want to go someplace that I perceive as cleaner and nicer. Maine. They want to come to Maine. What impact are you seeing from that migration that apparently is happening of people coming from other states and coming to Maine and settling here and working here? What impact is that having on commercial real estate?
I haven't seen a huge increase in commercial real estate activity because of that. Most of the people coming up from New York and Connecticut, California even, they're working from home. And eventually, maybe they'll start their own company. And I think long-term, that certainly could benefit all of us. But not a huge impact in terms of office space right now.
We've also been hearing now for a year and a half about how the housing market has just been red hot here in Maine and in other parts of the country as well. What impact are you seeing in terms, again, of commercial real estate? Are developers of apartment buildings or condo buildings saying, wow, now's the time to build because the demand is there? Are we starting to see a real significant increase in the construction of condos and apartments?
Well, you are, because of demand. It's very difficult to rent an apartment right now in Portland or Greater Portland. I have talked to some developers who are scaling back their plans to develop in Portland because of some new ordinances that have gone into effect. Outside of the city, yes, absolutely. You look at Scarborough Downs, that thing is booming down there, both industrial and residential. And it's because people are moving here from all over the place. They want to be here. I was in the Old Port over the weekend and walking down Exchange Street, New York license plate, Connecticut license plate, Georgia license plate, and then I saw a Maine license plate, so I felt safe.
Well, that's part of what we've seen in the last 18 months is that people have been pouring into Maine. That's been good for the restaurant sector. That's been good for hotels. Are those areas going to continue to do well, do you think? And are developers going to say, well, let's build more hotels? Because we've certainly seen a lot of construction in that area over the last couple of years, particularly in Portland.
Right. Well, just this summer, we've seen 2 new hotels open up, Canopy and the A-Loft on Commercial Street. There's a third one that's going to open up where the Shipyard Brewery site is, I think by the end of the year. The rates we're getting in Portland, $500-600 a night, sounds crazy. We're actually getting higher rates than in many instances in Boston than they're getting down there. And primary reason is Boston's more of a convention center, business center hub, whereas Portland's touristy, right? So the tourists are coming, they want to get out of the big cities.
What can be dangerous in real estate or in a lot of assets, obviously, is when you get these bubbles, when the prices just go to the moon and it's not realistic. And then when they come back to earth, people can really get burned. Do you see any bubbles out there now?
The housing sector is it's up 26% a year. That's not sustainable. That's really what I worry about. And I think, again, hopefully it's a soft landing when it does correct and not a big dip. And I think it will be a soft landing.